Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson. Mike, it seems like those winds are still gusting very aggressively all over Boulder County right now.
Just in the last few minutes, a report of a 60-mile-per-hour gust right on the Boulder County, Jefferson County line, right in the midst of where that fire is. And just a little bit to the north, South Boulder, 69-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, these have continued unabated for about the last 4 hours. I have some good news. In the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes, those winds will begin to decrease, and they will continue to do that after sunset into the evening hours. But we are in the midst of a truly historic wildland urban fire event going along the Front Range. Our photojournalist James Doherty spoke of the Waldo Canyon fire, which I remember very well back in 2012. Remember, that fire occurred in June. There is no fire season anymore in Colorado. It's a year-round event as our climate warms and as the drought continues to deepen across the Front Range. So let me show you something here. This is going to be a time lapse from our camera in Ault, Colorado. And look down, you can see the plume of the fire. We have a couple of things going on meteorologically right now. There's a stable layer just to above that fire, and so it's kind of forcing those winds down right along the surface as they rocket out of the canyon. It's the worst possible situation. Right in here where the fire developed today would be about the last spot you'd want a fire to develop after 6 months of extreme drought along the Front Range. This is right at the mouth of El Dorado Canyon, so the winds are funneled right out of the mountains onto the plains. When you combine that stable layer that's up at about 15 to 20,000 feet, that forced all of the wind right down, blowing out like coming out of a bellows along the Front Range. This is all smoke that we're seeing on the radar picture, none of it precipitation, and these smoke plumes extend all the way out into Washington County now, well to the east of Denver, 70 miles out to the east of the Front Range. Off to the west, the areas that you see in the white and blue, that is snow, and there is snow in the forecast. But everything that you see here on the radar, that is smoke, and actually right in the heart of where that smoke's occurring with the Doppler radar, which of course can see movement inside of a storm. That's how we determine where tornadoes are. We are seeing swirls of wind that are developing almost like a little miniature firestorm. It's gotten so big and so hot, it's starting to create its own weather at the present time. Now, there is some good news as we get into tonight and tomorrow. The winds are going to start to die down, really starting by about 4:30, so we're not very far from that. And tomorrow the winds will shift and come out of the northeast as a strong cold front moves through. A winter weather advisory in effect for up to 5 inches of snow coming up tomorrow and tomorrow night in the area where the fire is and across most of northeast Colorado. Mountains are under winter storm warnings for up to 1 to 2 feet of snow as this storm system comes in. But we sure need it. As I mentioned, we're in the midst of a drought that has dropped. Only about 1.5 inches of rain has fallen since the 1st of June. In Boulder County and northern Jefferson County, much of the Denver metro area, they've had more rain in Phoenix since the 1st of June than we've had in the Denver area. So the extreme drought exacerbating the problem. The other thing is that as this storm system has moved through, aloft at the jet stream level, very strong winds up at about 25 to 30,000 feet. Well, that's really high, right? But during the day, that's all brought down by turbulence down near the surface, and that's why we get these really strong winds, especially just to the east of the mountain canyons. The reason why the National Renewable Energy Lab has their wind test facility right there at the mouth of El Dorado Canyon is because the topography focuses the strongest winds right there. So the absolute worst spot for a fire to develop. The good news, again, there is snow on the way. Not tonight. It starts tomorrow afternoon and continues tomorrow night. So the headlines, to sum it up, the hurricane winds till dark, not much longer. The extreme fire danger will rapidly diminish into the evening hours, and the winds will be lessening overnight and shifting in direction tomorrow, coming in out of the northeast with about 3 to 5 inches of snow expected across the Denver metro area, including where the wildfires have been occurring to the northwest of downtown Denver and to Boulder County. And that also will be accompanied by sharply colder temperatures dropping to near 0 by Saturday morning.